All right, folks, let's kick things off with Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki and Sharon Lechter, diving straight into the introduction that sets the stage for this game-changing personal finance book. Picture me grabbing a coffee with you, ready to unpack a story about two dads, two mindsets, and a kid caught in the middle, trying to figure out what money really means. This intro is like the opening scene of a movie. It hooks you with a personal tale and a big idea that'll make you rethink how you handle your wallet. Two dads, one big choice. Imagine growing up with two dads pulling you in opposite directions. One's a scholar who can't seem to make ends meet. The other's a dropout who's destined to be a millionaire. That's where Rich Dad, Poor Dad starts. And let me tell you, it's a setup that grabs you by the collar. The introduction isn't just about Robert Kiyosaki's childhood. It's about the moment he realized money isn't just coins and bills. It's a mindset. Right away, I'm curious. If you had two mentors with wildly different views, whose advice would you pick? The big picture. Mindsets over money. The introduction lays out the book's core idea through Robert's unique story. He had two fathers with opposing views on life and wealth. His poor dad, his biological father, was a highly educated PhD who worked hard as Hawaii's superintendent of education, but always struggled financially. His rich dad, his best friend's father, never got past 8th grade, but built a business empire that made him one of Hawaii's wealthiest men. Both were successful in their own way. Both worked hard, but one died with millions to give away, while the other left debts behind. Why? It wasn't luck or even income. It was how they thought about money. Robert, as a young boy, found himself torn between these two charismatic figures. Poor Dad said things like, "The love of money is the root of all evil," and pushed for safe bets. Study hard, get a degree, land a steady job. Rich Dad countered with, "The lack of money is the root of all evil," and preached financial independence. Make money work for you, not the other way around. This clash wasn't just a family debate. It was a wake-up call for Robert to question everything. Instead of picking a side blindly, he started thinking for himself, comparing their advice, and choosing his own path. It's a powerful setup that screams, your mindset shapes your money, not your paycheck. The bigger theme here is education, or the lack of it. Robert drops a truth bomb. Schools teach us how to work for money, not how to make it grow. Poor parents, stuck in their own financial struggles, often pass on a study hard, get a job mindset, even if it traps their kids in the same cycle. Meanwhile, the rich teach their kids how to invest and build wealth. It's a systemic gap that explains why smart professionals like doctors or accountants can still end up broke, and why national debt keeps climbing. Nobody's teaching the money game in school. I'm already nodding along, thinking about how little I learned about taxes or investing in class. A kid's dilemma, a life's lesson. The introduction doesn't have a plot with twists and turns. It's more like a vivid snapshot of Robert's childhood that sets up the whole book. One standout moment is when he describes being 9 years old, caught between two dads who did not say the same things. Poor Dad's mantra was, "I can't afford it," shutting down possibilities. Rich Dad flipped it to, "How can I afford it?" A question that sparked creativity and problem solving. I love this contrast. It's like one dad saw money as a wall, the other as a puzzle to solve. Another key moment is Robert reflecting on their habits. Poor Dad leaned on job security, benefits, and government support, always worried about raises and retirement plans. Rich Dad was all about self-reliance, creating investments, and taking calculated risks. It's not just about what they said, but how they lived. Poor Dad's brain went to sleep on money matters. Masiyae. While Rich Dad treated his mind like a muscle, always working it. This idea that mental laziness keeps you poor hit me hard. I'm already wondering how often I've said, "I can't," without even trying. The chapter's emotional peak comes when Robert shares his choice at age 9 to follow Rich Dad's advice. even though it meant going against his educated father. He ties it to Robert Frost's poem, The Road Not Taken, about choosing the less traveled path. It's a poignant moment. Deciding to learn how money works instead of working for it wasn't easy, especially as a kid who loved both dads. That choice, he says, made all the difference, and it's the foundation for the book's 6 lessons, which he promises to unpack later. I'm already itching to know what those lessons are. Themes here are crystal clear: mindset over circumstances, financial education over formal degrees, and the power of choice. Robert's not saying Poor Dad was a failure. Both dads were influential, but their thoughts shaped their outcomes. It's a call to wake up and take control of your financial story, not just follow the crowd. Emotions and conflicts, torn between love and logic. This introduction is dripping with emotion, and it's what makes it so gripping. There's a quiet tension in Robert's voice as he describes loving 2 dads who couldn't be more different. You feel his confusion as a kid, wanting to be loyal, but puzzled by their conflicting advice. It's not a yelling match, it's deeper, like an internal tug-of-war between security and ambition. I felt a pang of empathy, imagining young Robert sitting alone, mulling over, why does he say that? About each dad's words. It's the kind of soul-searching we all do when faced with big choices. There's also a subtle sadness when he talks about Poor Dad's struggles, despite his education and hard work. It's not pity. It's a wake-up call that smarts and effort aren't enough if your mindset's off. On the flip side, there's excitement in Rich Dad's boldness, like a spark of possibility that makes you want to cheer. The conflict isn't just Robert versus his dads. It's society's get-a-job script versus the road less traveled. I'm already rooting for him to break free. A young mind awakens. There aren't characters in the traditional sense yet, but Robert's the star, and this is where his journey begins. He starts as a curious 9-year-old, soaking up advice from 2 strong personalities. By the end, he's taken his first step toward independence, choosing to learn from Rich Dad. Not because Poor Dad was wrong, but because he wanted more. It's a small but huge moment of growth, like planting a seed that'll grow into the man who wrote this book. I'm already seeing myself in him, wondering when I last chose to question the safe path. Okay, I'm hooked. This introduction is a masterclass in storytelling. Robert doesn't just throw facts at you. He pulls you into his world with 2 dads who feel larger than life. The contrast between them is so sharp, it's almost cinematic, and it makes you question your own beliefs about money. I love how personal it feels, like he's confiding in you about a choice that changed everything. The bit about schools not teaching finance hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm thinking back to all those algebra classes and wondering why nobody taught me about investments. My only tiny gripe? I want more details about those 6 lessons right now, but I get it. He's teasing us to keep reading. The Frost poem was a perfect touch, tying his choice to something universal. This intro's got me pumped to rethink my own money mindset. And I'm already jotting down questions like, how can I afford it, instead of shutting down possibilities? It's not just a finance book, it's a challenge to think bigger. Your mind, your money. So, what's the big lesson here? Your thoughts about money shape your life more than your paycheck does. Schools won't teach you how to get rich, your mindset will. Choose to question, compare, and think for yourself, like Robert did, instead of following the crowd. The introduction's a wake-up call. Stop saying, I can't. Start asking, how can I? And maybe, just maybe, take the road less traveled. What do you all think? Ever had a moment where you realized your money habits came from someone else, like a parent or teacher? Or maybe you got a story about choosing your own path, like Robert did. Drop it in the comments. I'm dying to hear, and let's keep this money mindset convo going.
Ever wished a book could change your life? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Bookpecker, where we peck into the pages of the most insightful books on financial freedom, personal growth, and beyond. I break down must-reads, share real takeaways and help you unlock knowledge without the fluff. Expect honest reviews, practical lessons, and maybe a surprise or two along the way. So, if you love books,